by settling your body into stillness, allowing yourself to be supported completely, noticing that in this moment, there is no motion required, no vigilance needed, and nothing demanding your attention except gentle awareness. Let your eyes close softly or rest unfocused, and notice the breath moving in and out without effort. Today's focus is on the way the mind creates fear through prediction. Driving anxiety is rarely about what is happening. It is about what the mind says might happen. The what-if loop feels convincing because the brain is designed to imagine threat in order to prevent it. But imagination is not foresight, and fear is not intuition. As you relax now, allow the idea to take shape that thoughts are events in the mind, not facts in the world. The anxious brain generates catastrophic predictions automatically, not because danger is present, but because it has learned to associate driving with uncertainty. These thoughts can appear quickly, stacking one on top of another, accelerating the nervous system as if danger were imminent. Yet right now, notice that thoughts arise without causing real consequences. They come, change, and pass. This realization is powerful. Catastrophic thinking depends on belief, not accuracy. When believed, thoughts trigger the body. When observed, they lose momentum. As you breathe, imagine stepping back from the flow of thought, as if sitting beside a road watching cars pass instead of standing in traffic. Each thought is a vehicle moving through awareness. You do not need to chase it, stop it, or analyze it. Simply notice it. This stance alone begins to interrupt the loop. The what-if pattern often begins with uncertainty and ends with imagined loss of control. The mind jumps from small sensations to dramatic conclusions, skipping reality. One sensation becomes an assumption. One assumption becomes a story, and the story feels urgent. But urgency is not accuracy. The nervous system responds to urgency even when the content is fictional. This is why catastrophic thoughts feel real. Today, your subconscious is learning to slow that chain reaction, not by arguing with thoughts, but by changing your relationship to them. When a thought appears such as, "What if I panic?" or "What if I lose control?" the new response is recognition, not reaction. You notice this is a fear-based prediction. That simple identification removes authority. A thought cannot control behavior unless it is treated as truth. Right now, allow your mind to practice this separation. Imagine a worry appearing on a screen in front of you. You can read it, acknowledge it, and allow it to fade without engaging. You are not suppressing. You are observing. Suppression tightens fear. Observation dissolves it. CBT principles show that thoughts gain power through repetition and attention. When attention is withdrawn, pathways weaken. Calm returns not because thoughts disappear, but because they are no longer driving behavior. Driving anxiety escalates when thoughts predict catastrophe faster than experience can correct them. The antidote is returning to what is verifiable. Right now, you are breathing. Your body is supported. Nothing catastrophic is occurring. This present moment evidence matters. When driving, present moment evidence includes the road ahead, the feel of the wheel, the responsiveness of the car. Catastrophic thinking ignores these data points. observing restores balance. As this understanding sinks deeper, notice how the body responds with subtle relief. Muscles soften when the mind stops sounding alarms. The emotional brain learns through experience that noticing thoughts does not cause harm. It begins to trust the process. Now imagine being in a car and a what-if thought arises. Instead of answering it, you label it mentally as prediction. You do not finish the sentence. You do not test it. You do not fight it. You let it be incomplete. Unfinished thoughts lose power. The nervous system no longer escalates. Calm does not require certainty. It requires tolerance of uncertainty without catastrophic interpretation. This is a skill, and skills can be trained. Each time a thought arises without a reaction, a new neural pathway strengthens. Over time, the mind becomes quieter not because danger disappeared, but because the habit of escalation faded. Catastrophic thinking often feels protective, as if worrying will prevent harm. But worrying does not prevent events, it only exhausts the system. Real safety comes from responsiveness, not rumination. As this truth settles, imagine your mind learning to pause automatically when a what-if appears. The pause creates space. In that space, choice exists. You can redirect attention to sensation, to breath, to the environment. Attention anchors the nervous system. The mind cannot catastrophize and observe simultaneously. One replaces the other. Right now, practice redirecting attention gently to the feeling of the breath in the chest or abdomen. Notice its consistency. Let that rhythm become a reference point. This is what calm feels like when thoughts lose dominance. Not forced silence, but grounded clarity. You may notice thoughts still come and go. That is normal. Progress is not measured by absence of thought, but by reduction of belief. Over time, the mind learns that catastrophic predictions are optional commentary, not commands. Driving fear loses fuel. The nervous system no longer reacts to imagined futures as if they were present threats. This does not mean danger is ignored. It means danger is evaluated realistically. Real risk prompts action. Imagined risk prompts observation and release. This distinction is crucial. Allow your subconscious to absorb this differentiation. The emotional brain learns through repetition that thoughts are not emergencies. As this session continues, imagine clarity replacing urgency. The road ahead becomes something you observe, not something you fear. Thoughts become background noise instead of center stage. This shift does not require effort. It occurs naturally when attention changes. Each calm drive, each moment of observing a what-if without escalation, further rewires the fear response. Your mind becomes trained to stop the loop before it gains momentum. Calm feels more accessible. Confidence grows quietly, and clarity replaces imagined danger. As you remain here, breathing steadily, allow the session's message to integrate. Thoughts are not threats. Predictions are not realities. Awareness is power. From this place, driving becomes less about managing fear and more about simply moving through space with presence and ease. As this awareness settles more deeply, recognize that you are not waiting for fear to disappear before feeling calm. Calm is available first, and fear adjusts afterward. Each time you notice a thought without responding, you teach your nervous system that you are safe even in uncertainty. This learning accumulates quietly. Confidence is not something you force. It is something that emerges when the mind stops overinterpreting. Over the coming days, this practice becomes automatic. The pause happens on its own. The label prediction arises effortlessly. Your body responds with steadiness instead of tension. Driving becomes familiar again, not because every question is answered, but because unanswered questions no longer feel threatening. You trust your capacity to respond in real time. Let that trust settle in now, gently and naturally, as part of how your mind works by default.